ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। अविकाराय शुद्धाय नित्याय परमात्मने सदैकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे सर्वजिष्णवे यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण जन्मसंसारबन्धनात् विमुच्यते नमस्तस्मै विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे। ॐ नमो विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे। शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। छायायां पारिजातस्य हेमसिंहासनोपरि आसीनमम्बुदश्याममायताक्षमलङ्कृतं चन्द्राननं चतुर्बाहुं श्रीवत्साङ्कितवक्षसं रुक्मिणी सत्यभामाभ्यां सहितं कृष्णमाश्रये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। As we continue to study the namas of any Sahasranama, we find that every nama is like a jigsaw piece, puzzle piece, no? By which we are understanding more about the mystery of Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. Yeah? So, the Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, what is the essence? Essence is one. Yeah? But that is neither completely known nor is it completely unknown. So we are in the process of knowing. Yeah? In the Kena Upanishad, after completing the Upanishad, the Guru addresses the students and says, okay, now come on, tell me who has understood. Then one intelligent student gets up and says, Guruji, if I say I have understood Atma Brahma, then I am wrong because that cannot be known as an object. And if I say I have not understood, then that would not be proper as a Shishya. You have taught us so well, and so we are in the process of knowing. So what this means is that what can be known? Any object that is anitya vastu, that is saguna, that is tangible, can be known, which is apara prakriti swarupaha, which comes and goes. And what is yet to be known? Yet to be known is that which is nirguna, which simply is, which is para and which is adrishyam. Yeah? So these are the two prakritis that any Sahasranama is explaining. Yeah? All the drishya prapancha and that which is the drik swarupaha. And so now we will continue to the next shloka, which is number 37. I will display it. Number 37. Ashokastaranastarah shurah shaurirjanishwarah. Ashokastaranastarah shurah shaurirjanishwarah. Anukulashatavartah padmi padmanibhikshanah. Anukulashatavartah padmi padmanibhikshanah. Ashokastaranastarah shurah shaurirjanishwarah. Anukulashatavartah padmi padmanibhikshanah. So here we find there are these 10 namas. Ashokaha, a very beautiful name for a boy, Ashok. Ashokaha, Taranaha, Taraha, Shuraha, Shaurihi Janeshwaraha Anukulaha Shatavartaha Padmi Padma Nibhekshanaha. So we are going to see quite a few namas centered on Padma. Padma is lotus. Yeah. So let us see these namas one by one. The first in this shloka is Ashokaha. Na shokaha iti Ashokaha. That is the one who is shokadi varjitaha, free from sorrow. What kind of sorrow? Shastra describes the 6 types of afflictions, yeah, which are Kshudha, Pipasa, Shokaha, Mohaha, Jara, Mrityu. In other words, the jiva is subject to these waves of sorrow in the form of hunger, thirst, delusion, and moha, shoka again, and then aging, and then finally mrityuhu. So you, Bhagavan, you are not subject to time, and hence you are not subject to shokaha. And so we see that here the Atma Tattvam is described as Ashokaha. Ashokaha because it was never born, Ajaha, and it is Avyaha, not subject to time, and hence Amrityuhu. So the Gita also, the whole the Gita Bhashyam in fact starts with chapter 2 verse 11, where Bhagavan says Ashocyanan Vashocastvam Prajnavadanscha Bhashase Gatasuna Gatasuscha Nanashochanti Panditaha. Who is the one who will never grieve? Panditaha, the wise. And the Upanishad also says the same thing. Atmavid Shokam Tarati. The one who has gained the knowledge of Atma crosses over sorrow. Now, the Shastra draws a line, difference between Dukkham and Shoka. Just like time. You take the nature of time. There is a chronological time that we are all going through. We celebrate the milestones, 60th Jayanti, then 80th, Shashtyadi, Shatabhishekam. All these we celebrate. And then as even we celebrate, we find that the prarabdha karma will bring in sukham and dukkham situations, and that there will be dukkham. But there need not be shokaha. Why? Because shokaha is the emotional suffering. And in the Gita, this is what Krishna is addressing the shoka of Arjuna, which is due to moha. So Gita is often called shoka moha nivritti granthaha. The one that will remove the sorrow which is centered on moha. What is moha? Atma, anatma, aviveka. The delusion, the ignorance. Yeah? And so, shoka can only go away completely by knowledge. And so here Bhagavan is praised as Ashokaha. Then we have the second word, which is Taranaha. Taranaha means the one who tarayati, helps cross. Cross what? Samsara Sagara, the Bhavasagara, the ocean of worldly life. And we have seen one of the Dhyana shlokas of the Gita also. Bhishma Drona Tata Jayatra Tajala Gandhara Nilotpala. And it goes on till Sa Sotirna Khalu Pandavai Rananadi Kaivartaka Keshavaha. As Kaivartakaha, the boatsman, Krishna helped the Pandavas cross over this deadly river of Mahabharata, which is infested with the Dushasanas, Duryodhanas, Karna and Jayadratha. So these, that is the Bhagavan praised as the Taranaha. Taranaha, who helps one cross over this ocean of worldly life. Samsara Sagarat Tareti iti Taranaha. This comes from the dhatu tru. Tru means to cross. And even in the Gita, Bhagavan has said, Jnana Plavena Tarati. Even the worst of the sinners, Papa Krittamaha, can turn over a new leaf and then with the boat, plava of knowledge, crosses over this worldly life and even the most heaviest of sorrow. That is the Taranaha. And then we have the next is related is Taraha. Taraha also is the same root through, which is to cross. And here Acharya, Bhashyakara Shankaracharya makes a difference and says here Bhagavan is praised as the one who helps one cross the bhayam. No, bhayam of garbha, janma, jara, mrityu, ityadi. Now we know that there is an Upanishad, Garbhopanishad, where the suffering of the jiva yet to be born is described. How dark it is, how it is squeezed in the womb and it is getting nourishment through this thin tube. And then there are the birth pangs, not only for the mother but for the child, which is coming into this broad daylight, and very new environment. So the bhayam of garbha, bhayam of janma. Then as the jiva grows, there are many other challenges. As a teenager, heartbreaks, hormonal issues, then midlife crisis, and then mrityu bhayam is also there. So Taraha is described as you who help one cross over these stages of the Jiva Yatra. Then we have the next word is Shuraha. Shuraha is easy. Shuraha means the one who has shauryam, courage, in absolute measure. And we have seen all these avatars of Narayana are all testimony to that fact, as Narasimha, Sri Krishna. They are all filled with courage. And when we understand this aspect of Bhagavan, then we also are filled with courage. You see the story of Prahlad. How despite all the persecutions, he had no fear because he held on to the source of all courage, and that is Narayana. So Narayana is praised here as Shuraha. Then Shaurihi. Shaurihi means Bhagavan is praised as Shurasya Apatyam. The one who is born in the Kula of Shura. Who is Shura? Shura is the father of Vasudeva. Now we know that Sri Krishna was born in prison to Vasudeva and Devaki. So the father of Vasudeva is Shura, and the one who is born in that clan, in that Kula, is called Shauri. So Bhagavan is praised as a descendant of that Kula. The sixth nama is Janeshwaraha. Jananam Ishwaraha. And Acharya puts another word, Jantunam api Ishwaraha. So the Lord of all the jivas, the human embodiments, not only the human embodiments, but of all the jantus also. Shastra describes the 84 lakhs of species that are there, and you are the Ishvara of every one of them, as the Srishti Karta. Then we have the word Anukulaha. Anukulaha means that which is conducive, which is favorable. How is this name for Bhagavan? Atmatvena. So it is said that Bhagavan in the form of Atma is always favorable. Will I do anything which will bring my own downfall and which will be detrimental to me? No. Why? Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Because we have seen earlier how Atma is the dearest object for all. Whatever I do, whoever I choose to be with, whatever I pursue in life, why am I doing that? For the Atma Ananda. But out of ignorance and moha, I may land in trouble and suffer. So here it is said that Bhagavan is always shining and guiding the jivas towards that Paramananda. And Bhagavan as Vrishaha showers the blessings. Even in the most intense situation which appears very chaotic and painful, we find that that is also guiding the jiva towards the Paramananda, yeah, eventually. So everything is a blessing in retrospect. Yeah, I find that it was for my Anukula only. It was favorable to me. So that is the meaning of how Bhagavan is always Anukulaha. Testing the jivas. No pain, no gain. Yeah. Then we have the next word, Nama, Shatavartaha. Shata is 100. Then Avartaha. Avartana means a cycle, no? A repetition. So Bhagavan is praised here as Shatavartaha, means the one who repeats or manifests hundreds of times. No? Sanatana, the yugas repeat and the avatars are repeating. So you are avartayasi. You are manifesting again and again. Why does Bhagavan do that? Because he is dharma, Shashvata Dharma Gopta, the protector of Dharma. So he appears or manifests as a certain guru, as a certain acharya, as an avatara, as per the need of those times. You know, Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanaha Sutrabhasha Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha talks about these Amsha avatars. Shankaracharya is an avatara of Shiva called Bhashyakara, and Vyasacharya is Vishnu, avatara Vishnu, and called Sutrakaraha. So we see that there are not just Dashavatarams, hundreds of avatarams are there. Every guru is considered an avatara, and acharyas are there. Then there is one story in the Puranas how a sage had 24 gurus, 24 gurus in the form of sun, moon, Vayu, the python. So like that, all these manifestations are happening hundreds of times. Yeah. Then here Acharya Shankaracharya gives another meaning to the word 100, Shata, and explains it with a yogic viewpoint. In our subtle body, Sukshma Shariram, there are these nadis. Nadis are the subtle nerve channels. Nerve channels, out of which the three are the important ones, Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. And it is said that when through yogic practices, the yogi brings that prana, Shakti, through the central nerve canal, Sushumna, and then it goes straight to Brahmarandra, and then it is the Moksha Marga. So, Bhagavan, you are in the form of that Shakti flowing through these hundreds of nadis, and hence you are Shatavartaha. The two meanings are given there. Then we have ninth nama is a simple one, Padmi. Padmam haste vidyate iti Padmi, or Padmam asya asti iti Padmi. The one who has a Padma, lotus in the hand. Why in the hand? The lotus is such a common, well-known drishtanta in all the Shastra, be it Upanishads, Smriti, Itihasas. We find the gods either sitting on a lotus or standing on a lotus, holding a lotus. Then Upanishad talks about the lotus of the heart and how it opens, through knowledge and reveals a shining Atma Tattvam. Then the lotus drishtanta is there in the Gita also. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate ena sapapena padmapatram ivambhasa. Chapter 5. You can remember how the Gita describes that the one who abides in Brahman is like a lotus flower which can never be wet by water. The water droplets will appear like pearls on the lotus petals, but the petal will not get wet. So too, the worldly life cannot enter and agitate this wise person who is like the lotus. And then we know the lotus is Pankajam, Pankat Jayate, born of slush, muddy waters. But it is facing the sun and blooming into a beautiful lotus. Yeah? The Mahabharata, one of the Dhyana shlokas also compares the Mahabharatam as the lotus. Yeah, how it has got so many stamens, and the stamens are the Harikathas in the Mahabharata. So here Bhagavan is praised as the one who is holding a lotus, and this is a Purana Nama here. Then we have the last Nama in this 37th shloka, which is Padma Nibhekshanaha. Padma Nibha Ikshanaha. Three subwords. Padma's lotus, Nibha is Sadrisham, like, and Ikshana is sight or eyes. So the one who is lotus-eyed, beautiful lotus petal-like eyes. So these namas are meant for upasana. When we want to focus on the divine nature of Bhagavan, then these descriptions give us an easier way to dwell upon. Standing on a lotus with lotus eyes, and so this is meant for Saguna Brahma Upasana. So with that, the 10 namas are over. Let us look at them again. Ashokastaranastarshurshaurirajaneshwaraha Anukulashatavartah Padmi Padmanibhekshanaha. Now let us go over to the 38th. Next shloka. Padmanabhoravindakshah Padmagarbhah Sharirabhrit Mahardhirriddho Vriddhatma Mahaksho Garudadhvajah. Padmanabhoravindakshah Padmagarbhah Sharirabhrit Mahardhirriddho Vriddhatma Mahaksho Garudadhvajah. And here the namas are 9 namas. Padmanabhaha, which is, I think, a repetition, has come before. Aravindakshaha Padmagarbhaha Sharirabhrit Mahardhihi Riddhaha Vriddhatma Mahakshaha and Garudadhvajaha. So again, quite a few namas centered on Padma or lotus. If you look up the Amarakosha, which is like a thesaurus of Sanskritam, you will find 500 namas are there for just lotus. Aravinda, Pundarika, Padma, Pankaja. And that is the beauty of Sanskritam. You see the word, you can extend the words by how you perceive it. Okay, lotus is a flower born in mud, Pankajam. And then it faces the sunshine, Aravinda. Like that, we can go on extending the synonyms for any word. So here, what do we find? Padmanabhaha. And Nabhi, is the center point, the hub. So, which is referring to the Lord, from whose Nabhi the lotus appeared, and then we find Brahmadev seated in this lotus. Kamala Sanastaha Brahmadev. And so Brahma here, Bhagavan is praised as the one who manifests as Brahmadev, who is seated in the lotus, which has emerged from the navel, Nabhihi. And this is the Purana description, and we have seen that they are all allegorical. The lotus is really referring to the heart lotus, and that is also called the Buddhi Guha. Buddhi Guha in the Upanishads often we will find. Why Guha? Because it is dark. And so Padmanabha, also the lotus of the heart, is often described as closed. When the lotus is closed, we cannot appreciate the beauty. But when it is open, then it is beautiful. So what this means is that Atma Tattvam is the shining Tattvam which is abiding in the lotus, which is initially closed. And then when the heart lotus is awakened, how will it be awakened? By the grace of the Guru and the Shastra Kripa. Then the lotus opens, and then the Jiva is able to discover the shining Atma Tattvam in the lotus. So depending on that, there are these various namas. So Padmanabha is you, Bhagavan, on whom the yogis meditate in the lotus of the heart. Yeah? Then we have Aravindakshaha. No? Aravinda Akshi. The one who has Akshis, eyes like an Aravinda, lotus. Same meaning that we saw earlier also, Padma Nibhikshanaha. Then Padma Garbhaha. No? Padma Garbhaha. And this is also you, Bhagavan, you are meditated in the lotus of the heart. And that is referred to as the Garbha. Why? Because you take a human Garbha. Can we see the fetus without ultrasound and all those equipments? We can't, because the baby is in the womb, so it is like covered and hidden inside the womb. So with normal eyes, without instruments, we cannot perceive. So too, the shining Atma Tattvam is in the Garbha. Garbha like heart lotus. And so you are seated there and you are Padma Garbhaha. And when the heart lotus opens by the Guru Kripa and Shastra Kripa, then one can discover that Atma Tattvam, shining there. Now, the Atma Tattvam is not only in the heart lotus. Atma Tattvam is limitless. It is everywhere. In fact, the hearts are located in the Atma Tattvam. But why do we say it is shining in the Atma Tattvam, in the heart lotus? Because that is the Upalabdhi Sthanam. Upalabdhi Sthanam means where I meditate, and then in the understanding happens in my buddhi, and that buddhi is called the heart lotus. Yeah? So that is the lotus connections here. Then we have the next word, Sharira Brit. Sharira, is the body. And Brit. Brit comes from the verb Bibharti. Bibharti means to support, to nourish, to sustain. So you, Bhagavan, you are the nourisher. You are the Bharta. Bharta of what? Shariram. No? And how do you do that? By giving it prana. Prana through all the elements. Pranavayu, then through annam. How you nourish the body of the jivas. So you are Sharira Brit. And this word Sharira is also, derived from the word Shira Svabhava. Sharira is the one that is like a machine, put together very intelligently. And it is going to decline with time. But you nourish it with prana. So you are Sharirasya Bharta. Sharira Brit. Here Acharya gives another meaning also. And he says that you who have taken or manifested many Shariras, that is also you, Sharira Brit. And we see this, this is a secret of the Rasa Leela also in the Bhagavad Purana. Now how every gopi will find one Krishna dancing with her. So that is indicative of that Atma Tattvam. How the Atma Tattvam as though appears as many, but it is really one. Yeah? Which is ever present 24/7 for every gopi like jiva. So Sharira Brit can be interpreted in the second way also. Then the fifth word is Mahardhihi. Mahardhihi is Mahariddhihi. The two words are Mahariddhihi. And Riddhihi means the wealth, the glory, the power, the vibhutis are all Mahati. Immense is immeasurable. So you are that omnipotent no, Shaktiman, Bhagavan, who has this unfathomable wealth, or Bhaga. Then we have Riddhaha, next word. It's not Riddhi, but Riddhaha this time. And Riddhaha is derived from the root Vridh. You know, Vridh, Vardhate means to grow. So Riddhaha is growth. So you, Bhagavan, you have as though grown or expanded into this entire universe as the Virat Swarupaha. So you are in the form of this entire Prapancha. Prapancha Rupena Riddhaha. That is Riddhaha. Then the next word, Nama, is Vriddhatma. Now Vriddhaha we say is an elderly person. But here it's referring to Bhagavan whose Atma or nature is Vriddhaha, expanded. Similar to the previous Nama. And the one who is the eldest. There is no one, older than Bhagavan. Why? Because Bhagavan has no parents, has no cause. So he is Puranaha, Sanatanaha, ancient but ever new. Pura api navaha. And how can one be, never age when there is no birth? Yeah. So that is Vriddhatma. And you have expanded in the form of this entire universe, and there is no further growth for you. You are limitless, limitlessly big. This is again referring to the pure consciousness. Then we have Mahakshaha. Again, coming back to the Akshi word. Akshi means eye. So your eyes are, Vishal, Vishalaha. They are Maha, great. And we see for Upasana, we have seen all these Dhyana shlokas. Bhuvpado yasya nabher vyeda sura nilas chandra suryoja netre. Chandra and Surya are the netre, are your eyes of the Virat Swarupaha. That is one meaning, that the sun and the moon are the eyes of this Virat Purusha. And another meaning we have seen in the Gita also, Sahasrakshaha, Sahasrapada. That is all the feet, all the eyes, all the limbs belong to you. So you as though you are seeing through all our eyes and moving through all our limbs. So you are Sahasrakshaha, you are Mahakshaha. Then we have Garuda Dhvajaha. Garuda Dhvajaha is an easy nama for Narayana, whose Vahana is the great Garuda, and Garuda is described as the great, Jiva, who can never be obstructed, whose flight is unobstructed. So the seeker, every Jiva seeker will pray, let my flight to the Supreme be like, the Garuda's path, unobstructed. Why? Because the Garuda flies at an immense height, beyond this atmosphere also. So where, it will not have obstacles. So the seeker prays that may I also, my flight take me to the supreme heights where I also will not have obstacles. So here Garuda Dhvajaha is one whose flag, Dhvaja, is adorned with Garuda, and is describing how the Vahana of Narayana is the great Garuda. So these are the 9 namas of shloka number 38. Padmanabhoravindakshah Padmagarbhah Sharirabhrit Mahardhirriddho Vriddhatma Mahaksho Garudadhvajaha. Then we come to 39. Here it looks like we have 8 namas. Atulasharbho bhimas samayajño havirharihi. Atulasharbho bhimas samayajño havirharihi. Sarvalakshana lakshanyo Lakshmivan Samitinjayaha. सर्वलक्षणलक्षण्यो लक्ष्मीवान् समितिञ्जयः अतुलशरभो भीमः समयज्ञो हविर्हरिः सर्वलक्षणलक्षण्यो लक्ष्मीवान् समितिञ्जयः. Here it begins with the word Atulaha. Then Sharabhaha, Bhimaha, Samayajnaha, Havir Harihi, one word. Then Sarva Lakshana Lakshanyo or Sarva Lakshana Lakshanyaha. Then Lakshmivan. And finally Samitinjayaha. Okay. Now let us look at them one by one. Atulaha. You know the tula, tulas are the scales by which one measures. No, tula bharam we do. Tula. So, but you are atulyaha or atulaha. Same meaning. That means there is no comparison for you, Bhagavan. You are unrivaled, incomparable. Nothing can excel you. This is what Arjuna tells Krishna also in chapter 11. When there is nobody who can equal you, Bhagavan, Krishna, how can somebody excel you? So, here Bhagavan is praised as the one who has no upamana. No? Upamana means you can't relate or bring an example for Bhagavan because there is only one. Advaita Advitiya Tattva. If you want to describe the sky to somebody, you can't find another object like the sky. So you end up saying the sky is like sky. Ocean is like ocean. They are abiding in their own glory. You can describe sky is blue, it is vast, it accommodates everything, all that. But still there can be no direct comparison to anything. So here it is said that Bhagavan, you are also unique. You are all inclusive Tattvam. And so how can you be compared to anything? You are Atulyaha. And in any field, be it courage and fame and vairagyam and bhalam and shri, wealth, you are incomparable. Atulyaha. Then the next nama is Sharabhaha. And the bha in Sharabhaha means bhati. Bhati is to shine. So you, Bhagavan, you are the self-effulgent shining principle of the pure consciousness where? In the Shara. And Shara here is Shariram, in the bodies. And the body is put together, we know, is the Upadhi. Upadhi is like a setup, a machinery. Yeah? So here also we bring in that meaning, Shiryate iti Sharaha. Sharaha also means arrow. But here it is taken to mean that which changes and deteriorates over time. So Navadvare Pure Dehi. Gita talks about Ishvara as indwelling the 9-gated body city. And that is described here as Sharaha. Share Bhati iti Sharabhaha. You are the Devata, the shining principle, indwelling this body. Sharabhaha. Then we come to Bhimaha. Bhima is one of the Pandavas, and it comes from the root Bhi. Bhi means fear. The one who is feared. The Mahabharatam, everybody fears Bhima. He is so powerful. But here Bhagavan is described as Bhimaha, the one who is feared. Yeah. Now why should Bhagavan be described like that? Even Upanishad says, out of the fear of Bhagavan, the wind, Vayu Tattvam, has to blow. The water has to flow. The sun has to rise. Earth has to spin. Yeah, the Agni cannot tell, let me chill today for a day. And the sun cannot say, oh, it's the weekend, let me take a break and not rise. Yeah? The earth cannot stop spinning. So the Taittiriya Upanishad uses this word, bhi, there, out of fear. But it is not fear, it is accepting the mandate of the supreme authority. Like children have to obey parents, employees have to follow the mandate of their boss. So here, Bhagavan is praised as the supreme authority whose mandate everybody has to follow. So everybody is engaged in their swadharmas, in their swakarmas, in their respective ashramas, and they're all executing their whatever has to be done. This is one meaning of Bhimaha. Then Shankaracharya says, when we explain a word like Bhimaha, we can put the akara in front of Bhimaha. So the word can also be seen as Abhimaha. And A will negate Bhimaha. So you, Bhagavan, the second meaning I am telling you is you are Abhimaha. Means you are not feared. You are not feared. Why? Because you are in the form of dharma. You are the karma phala data. So dharmo rakshitaha rakshati. The one who follows dharma and does what is to be done, follows the mandate, how can there be fear for such a person? So you are abhimaha, because this karma yogi will always have prasada buddhi. No? Swalpamasya dharmasya trayate bhayat. Gita, we have seen that. The one who does even swalpamasya dharmasya asya, even does a little bit of karma yoga, has that attitude of Ishvara Arpanam, Prasada Buddhi, is protected from the great fear of samsara. And so Bhagavan is praised as Abhimaha also, and who can never be feared. In fact, we see that our own understanding of Bhagavan changes over time. When we were children, I'm sure parents will scare the children. If you tell a lie, Bhagavan will punish you. If you steal, this will happen to you. So it may not be the best way to educate a child, but out of fear of punishment, the jivas will have a fearful notion of Bhagavan. Bhuchandi and all will be there for children. But with time, what happens as a student of Vedanta, then we understand, the more we understand about Bhagavan, is bridging the gap between Jiva and Ishvara. And finally, what does the Guru say? Tattvamasi, you are Bhagavan. Tattvam, essential. So then, how can there be fear of Bhagavan? So the understanding that I am Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma then will remove all the fear and release me from the fear of samsara. The more I understand Bhagavan. So that is the two meanings of Bhimaha. Then we have interesting nama Samayajnaha. This also we can understand in two different ways. Samayajnaha. Samaya means time, no? And Nyaha is Janati. So the one who knows the time, no? What kind of time? The time, what is to happen when for every jiva. This seed, is it to sprout now or in 10 days? And then the flowers, when it should come, the seasons, when it should manifest. So the Uchita Samaya, Bhagavan, you are the one who knows what is the perfect, appropriate time for everything, for all the jivas and for all the jantus. And also at the macro scale, you know when it is time for Srishti to start, and then through the yugas and the kalpas, and then when there is a pralayas to happen. So you are governing the time principle because you are the parent of time, and so you are Samayajnaha. You know the time limit of Srishti, Sthiti and Laya. That is one meaning. Both Sama and Yajna. Sama means what? Has Samadarsham form of worship, Yajnaha. Yogamam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram. Chapter 13 Gita. Bhagavan says, I am equally indwelling, I am samam in all the bhutas. Yeah? So the one who does this jnana yajna, who appreciates, who perceives that samatvam in all the beings in the form of Atma, and that is you, that is the Samayajnaha, is praised as Samayajnaha. So, which means that you are worshipped as the equally indwelling, Samatattvam in all, as the Atma. Then we come to the next word, which is Havir Harihi. Harihi and Haraha have the same root. Hru. Hru means Harati Papan. So the one who removes the Papa, the suffering, is call it Hari or Hara. No? Same thing etymologically. But here there is a word Havihi. Havihi means oblations, Havis, which is offered in a Vedic ritual. Havis Harihi. Now here it's referring to the Lord who takes away the offerings that the performer will offer into the fire. So we have seen this, how the Agni is the divine messenger who will carry all the offerings, the sankalpas, the mantras in a subtle form to the respective devatas. Agni, Swaha, all these mantras to the Agni, Vayu, Varuna to fulfill some desire. So you are in the form of Agni, and so you are Havir Harihi. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta. Gita also has said, I am the bhokta of all the yajnas. So Bhagavan is receiving all the offerings in all the yajnas. That is one meaning. Then Acharya gives a couple of other meanings also. Harati iti Hari. That is one. Then there is a Harit. Harit also means green color. So the Lord is praised as Harita Varna. Like we have Neela Megha Shamaha, Krishna Varnaha. So green in the sense that the God is manifested as the beautiful, fertile nature. So Havir Harihi, we can also take those meanings. Then we have Sarva Lakshana Lakshanyaha. Yeah, Sarva Lakshana Lakshanyaha. So we were seeing the next Nama, Sarva Lakshana Lakshanyaha. This means you are the one who is to be known by all the Lakshanas. Sarva Lakshana Lakshanyaha. So what are the Lakshanas? The Lakshanas here in this context are referring to the Pramanas. I've talked about the Pancha Pramanas, Pratyaksha, Anumanam, Arthapati, Upamanam, Anupalabdhi. So these are all valid modes of knowledge. Whatever can be known, we have to employ one of these. How do I know the presence of earth, water and fire? By Pratyaksha Pramana. But can I know air and space by Pratyaksha Pramana? No. There it is Anumanam. When the wind blows, then I know that there is a cold sensation or a hot sensation, as these days it's hot. So that is Anumanam. Yeah. And then through that knowledge gained by these modes of knowledge, the Pramanas, I arrive at you. So you are the source of all these entities whose knowledge I gain through the Sarva Lakshanas, the modes of knowledge. Yeah? So you who are understood by all the Pramanas, you are Paramatma. Sarvalakshana Lakshanyaha. Then we have Lakshmivan, which is very simple. We have seen similar names like Shripatihi, Shriman. The one where Mahalakshmi abides in the Vakshasthalaha is this Lakshmivan. No? And Lakshmivan is also the same as Mayavin. Maya asya asti iti Mayavin. So Mahalakshmi is really the power of the Maya Shakti, the creative power, which belongs to Ishvara. And so they're always together. Apara and Para cannot be separated, like a flower and the fragrance, like the heat and the fire. They're always together. But there is a stage where it is manifest and a stage where it is withdrawn. Yeah? So that is you, Lakshmivan. Then the last nama here is Samitinjayaha. Samitinjayaha, the Jayaha means Jayati, victorious, and Samiti means Yuddha, war or a battle. So you who are Samitinjayaha means you are the one who are ever victorious. Yeah? There is no failure for you. And you eradicate all the negativity, and all victory belongs to Bhagavan. And we see this in all the avatara stories. There is always the victory for dharma eventually, and that is what is meant here, Samitinjayaha. So these are all the namas in the 39th shloka. Atulasharabho bhimas samayagno havirharihi sarvalakshana lakshanyo lakshmivan samitinjayaha. Let's review the other two also, 37 onwards. Ashokastaranastarshuurashaurirjanishwaraha anukulashatavartah padmi padmanibhikshanaha padmanabhoravindakshah padmagarbhasharirabhrit mahardhirriddho vriddhatma mahaksho garudadvajaha अतुलशरभो भीमः समयज्ञो हविर्हरिः सर्वलक्षणलक्षण्यो लक्ष्मीवान् समितिञ्जयः. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.